It was a quiet Sunday morning in the small town of Hillview. The sun was slowly rising and the sound of birds filled the air. In a small cafe near the market, a young man named David sat alone, staring at his empty coffee cup. He looked tired and frustrated. Life was not going the way he had imagined. David had recently lost his job at a local company. He had bills to pay, dreams to chase, but no money in his pocket. Every morning, he came to the cafe, hoping to find some inspiration, or maybe a miracle. Deep inside, he believed that something good would happen someday. But someday never came. One morning, as David was about to leave, an old man walked into the cafe. He wore a simple brown coat and carried a small wooden cane. His eyes were calm but full of wisdom. The old man ordered tea and sat near David. After a few minutes, the old man looked at David and said, "Young man, why do you look so sad? The day has just begun." David smiled weakly. "I've been searching for opportunities, but nothing seems to work. I just wish life could give me something for free. A lucky break, maybe." The old man laughed softly. "Nothing is free, my boy. Even the sun must rise every morning to earn its light." David frowned, not sure what that meant. "What do you mean?" "Some people are just lucky. They get success without trying." The old man shook his head. "You only see the result, not the effort. Even luck visits those who prepare their home for it." David thought about those words. They sounded deep, but he wasn't sure how they applied to him. The old man continued, "Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I was just like you, lost, broke, and waiting for a miracle. Then I learned the truth. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you work for." The old man took a small coin from his pocket and placed it on the table. "This coin," he said, "is not worth much, but if you use it wisely, it can change your life." David looked confused. "How can a small coin change my life?" "It depends on what you do with it," replied the old man. "You can spend it and forget it, or you can invest it and grow it. The value doesn't come from the coin, it comes from your choice." David stayed silent. The words felt heavy but powerful. The old man smiled kindly. "You see, young man, people want free success, free love, free happiness, but everything has a cost. The question is not if you'll pay, but how you'll pay, with time, effort, or patience." As the old man finished his tea, he stood up and placed the coin in David's hand. "Take it. Remember, nothing is free, not even the lessons that change your life." Before David could ask his name, the man was gone. David looked at the coin again. It was simple, ordinary, yet something about it felt special. He decided to keep it as a reminder. From that day, he promised himself no more waiting for miracles. If he wanted change, he would work for it. That night, David opened his notebook and wrote on the first page, "The old man was right. Nothing is free. Tomorrow I start building my own life, one step at a time." He didn't know it yet, but this decision would lead him on a journey that would completely transform his future. The next morning, David woke up earlier than usual. He held the small coin tightly in his hand. For the first time in a long while, he felt a sense of direction. The old man's words echoed in his mind. "The value doesn't come from the coin. It comes from your choice." David looked at the coin again and smiled. Maybe it's time I make the right choice, he whispered to himself. He went to the cafe again, sat at his usual table, and opened his notebook. He wrote a simple plan. Find any job, no matter how small. Save a little money every day. Learn a new skill. Never give up. That same afternoon, he walked around the town asking for work. Many people said no. Some laughed at him, but David didn't stop. He remembered the old man's lesson. Nothing comes for free. Finally, a local shop owner offered him a small job, cleaning the store and arranging shelves. The pay was low, but David accepted with a smile. At least I'm starting somewhere, he said. Every day, he worked hard. He arrived before everyone else and left after everyone had gone. He didn't complain. He saved a few coins each week, no matter how little. The small coin the old man gave him stayed in his pocket like a lucky charm, a reminder that effort always comes before reward. After a few months, the shop owner noticed David's dedication. "You've got a good attitude," he said. "Would you like to learn how to manage the shop?" David's eyes lit up. "Yes, sir, I'd love to learn." So the owner began teaching him how to handle sales, customers, and orders. David listened carefully and practiced every day. Slowly, he started to understand how business worked. He realized that success wasn't about waiting. It was about building. But life wasn't always easy. Some days, David felt tired. His friends invited him out, but he often refused. "Come on, David," they said. "You work too much. Enjoy your life." "Not yet," David replied. "I'm working for something bigger." Months passed, and David became an important part of the shop. One morning, the owner called him into the office. "David," he said, "I'm getting old and I want to retire. I need someone honest and hard-working to continue the business. Would you like to be my partner?" David couldn't believe it. "Me? But I'm just an employee." "Not anymore," the man smiled. "You've earned this. You've proven that you understand what others don't, that nothing in life is free." Tears filled David's eyes. He remembered the old man, the coin, and the difficult days when he almost gave up. Everything made sense now. Years later, David became the owner of the biggest store in Hillview. He helped young people find jobs and often shared his story. He even kept the same old coin in a small glass frame on his desk. Beneath it, he wrote, "This coin taught me the most valuable lesson, that effort is the price of every dream." One afternoon, as David was closing his shop, a young boy entered. He looked worried and lost. "Sir," the boy said, "I'm looking for work, but nobody wants to hire me." David smiled kindly, recognizing himself in the boy. He reached into his pocket, took out a small coin, and handed it to him. "Take this," David said. "It's not magic, but it will remind you of something important. Nothing is free." The boy looked confused, but David just smiled and added, "One day you'll understand." And just like that, the lesson was passed on, from one dreamer to another. Years passed, and David's story became a legend in Hillview. People often said, "He started with nothing but a single coin and a strong will." But David always corrected them. "No, I didn't start with nothing," he would say. "I started with a lesson, that everything valuable in life has a cost." He realized that success, love, knowledge, and respect all share the same rule. You must give something to receive something. It could be time, effort, patience, or sacrifice, but it's never free. Every night, before closing his store, David looked at the framed coin on his desk and whispered, "Thank you, old man. You taught me what schools never did." The coin no longer represented money. It represented belief, discipline, and action. Lesson of the story: life doesn't reward wishes. It rewards work. Every dream, every goal, every achievement comes with a price tag. You can't buy success with luck, and you can't get progress without consistency. If you want to speak English fluently, if you want to build a business, if you want to change your life, remember David's story. Start small. Stay patient. Pay the price of effort every day. Because the truth is simple but powerful. Nothing is free, but everything is possible when you work for it. So keep moving, keep learning, and never stop investing in yourself. The rewards will come, not as gifts, but as the results of your determination.